Hello, and welcome to 10 Minutes That Can Change Your Life. This program is brought to you each week by the Port Huron Church of Christ, located at 756 17th Street, right here in the city of Port Huron. Hey, if you've been a faithful follower of ours, we want you to know we really appreciate the support. And would you do us a favor and share this with your friends on Facebook? And we want to thank you in advance for that. Today our topic is a difficult one given the recent temperature rise in the cities across the country. Today we're going to talk about self-control. Control of self, as we all have witnessed, can be a very difficult thing to do, especially when we are driven by passion and emotions. However, it stands to reason. Self-control is demanded in every and all situations. I'm going to repeat that. Regardless of what is going on around us, self-control is demanded in every and all situations. Some wise, anonymous person once said, self-control is the power within you that holds the reins of anger, intolerance, and impulsiveness. You know, it's our ability as humans to control ourselves. And that's what separates us from the animal kingdom. They act and react on their God-given script of instinct, while we have the luxury of intelligent thought and reasoning. In other words, we have the power to think and then decide how we are going to react. However, when we ignore those three, the end result is not that much different for us than for the animal kingdom. In other words, when we ignore intelligence, thought, and reasoning, we begin to look very animalistic. Wouldn't you agree? So either we learn to control ourselves or ourself will control us. And when that happens, the end is always something significantly less than what we hoped and planned for our lives. We dream of a good life, but because of uncontrolled self, we cheat ourselves out of our dream by ending up in places like prison or even beyond. And if it's not that extreme as prison, we can still destroy our life because of our failure to control self. You know, there is no perfect life because the world is full of people. And there's an excellent chance some of those people are going to not only annoy you, they're going to push you to the wall until you feel as though you're about to explode. And when you do, when you lose your self-control, there's no way to predict the outcome of the situation. How many times have you heard a person say after they've committed some kind of act, I don't know what happened. I just snapped and lost my self-control. Here's the reality for you. All of us. I said all of us at some time or another have felt this very same way because of some injustice we experience. It could have been a sniper attack by a coworker that cost you your job. Or maybe something someone said about you or even to you. What I'm trying to say is this. You are not alone in your feelings. However, and here's the difference. Not everyone chooses to allow themselves to lose control. Did you get that? Not everyone chooses to allow themselves to lose control. These people have determined, regardless of situation, they are going to maintain their self-control. You know, I've managed people in a work environment for over 20 years, and the difference in the reaction to circumstances by an individual in most cases is almost predictable. I can't tell you how many times I had to tell a person to cool down or they're going to lose their job. Only hear them to say those magic words to me, I don't care. You know, I call them magic words because they have the ability to magically transport this person to the unemployment line, if you know what I mean. But they were magic for another reason as well, because they signified to me the employee was abandoning reasoning and intellect and putting their entire future in the hands of their emotions, which is always a huge mistake. You know, God gave us emotions as a human to make us and allow us to feel, also to alert us of danger and problems. But he also gave us intellect to determine how we are going to react to what our emotions has detected. Intellect, thought, and their little brother reasoning are designed to guard against doing something emotion is attempting to get you to do right now, which you will spend the rest of your life regretting. Remember, you are always responsible for how you act, regardless of how you feel. But on the positive side, self-control or self-discipline will take your life to wonderful places and allow you to enjoy life far beyond what you can ever imagine. But as you continue to live life, I assure you, there will be plenty more opportunities for you to practice self-control, if you know what I mean. You know, I once had a boss who offered some profound wisdom on this subject. He said, before you act in anger, give yourself a day to think about it and then act accordingly. You know what? 9 times out of 10, by the next day, after your temperature has returned to normal and you have better clarity of the situation without the influence of anger, you will choose to handle the situation in a much different way, one that uses your intellect. You know, adding gasoline to an already raging fire doesn't put the fire out. It only intensifies the fire and it makes it worse. And that's what our anger does to a situation. Whatever it is, anger makes it worse. And then when you decide to put your self-control in your back pocket and go after the person, nothing good comes from that. Look around you at the country and you will see a lot of people without, you guessed it, self-control. Whether they dress in blue or in regular street clothes, it makes no difference who starts the fire if the other person pours gasoline on it. And after the fire burns itself out, what's left is ruined lives. And yes, unfortunately, in some cases, lost life. I want to believe that we as individuals are smarter than what we are seeing. But you know what? When a group ignites a situation, it creates the fire of conformity. And before you know it, it's out of hand. And so it is in your personal life if you don't practice self-control. You will see it in your relationships, on your job, in every area of your life. And I promise you, failure to control yourself will destroy your life. And in the end, although you can fully recite the reason for every action, the truth will always come down to how you chose to react to the situations and moments in your life. And it's then that you will arrive at the conclusion that your actions were not always in your best interests. You know, it was Aristotle that said, what lies in our power to do also lies in our power not to do. In other words, we have a choice in every situation how we are going to react. It was Jesse Jackson who coined the phrase, it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude. In other words, it's your attitude, not just your smarts, that will determine how far you go in life. So I want to encourage you to check the temperature of your attitude and determine if you exhibit self-control or do you allow others to determine your destiny. Because when you are not in control, someone else is. You know, it's your life, your destiny. Control it by controlling yourself. And this is my final thought I would like to share with you. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Chew on that for a while. This is Lamar Black, the minister of the Port Huron Church of Christ, saying you can change your life by controlling yourself 10 minutes at a time. We'll see you right here next week, and thanks for watching.